Hi, everyone. So the first thing I wanted to do was just give you a quick apology for the slight delay in the D2L announcement for week 3. Normally, I do have those set to 8 a.m. on Mondays, but I wanted to go through and revise and make sure that I had resources for you ahead of the exploratory research essay assignment final that you're going to be turning in this week. So if you look at the to-dos, that's the very first one. The other thing you're going to be doing is an assignment where you're going to kind of revisit and think about your topic a little bit more as we head into Unit 2. Couple tasks. I just want you to look over those resources, these 3 articles here. And then the rest of the announcement I've broken into 2 parts. The first part is going to be a list of resources you can use on your exploratory essay. So one of the things I mentioned is that I am going to be giving you feedback. I'm going to be giving you detailed video feedback on your draft. I will post an announcement explaining exactly where to find that and how to check it. If you have any trouble checking that, it should come out sometime midweek. If you have any trouble checking it, please let me know because I'm going to give you individual feedback for moving forward with the draft. In addition to that, I have mentioned in the resources here, I've linked PDF to the Writing Center information. I highly recommend that you use the Writing Center resources. There are 3 ways that you can visit the Writing Center in the summer. It's the same as in the school year. You can go in person, and the hours are listed in that PDF. You can do it virtually. Hours are listed in that PDF. You can also email a copy of your assignment with the identifying information that they ask for detailed in that flyer. You can send a copy of your paper directly to them for review. You do need to make sure that you're following along with the timeline so that there's enough time for them to review it and get it back to you. If you are being a good student at watching these videos, I would love it if midweek you emailed me and let me know which of the 3 options you were going to pursue. 2 other things that I included, actually 3 other things that I included here in the sections for making your draft as good as your final draft as good as it can be are some reminders about well-written summaries, because part of that source that you're including that's in each of those source sections of your paper should be a summary of your source. So some reminders about what a good summary should have, including attributive tags. And if you don't know what that is, please click on the link to that handout there for an overview. And because the other part of your source evaluation for the 2 sources you found in that exploratory essay is going to be an evaluation of your source, make sure that you are performing the CRAP test and using it as an opportunity when you write this paper to explain why you think the source is good. You should look at strengths. You should look at weaknesses. If there are weaknesses, you should explain why you're going to continue to use the source, why you think that though there are some drawbacks, that it's still a strong source. That's what you should be doing in this evaluation paragraph, giving an overview of the effectiveness of the articles that you've chosen. And then the Perfecting APA, one of the things I want to point out here is that link there is an APA formatting template guide that you are more than welcome to download and use that template and just put in your own information to make sure that your paper is set up in APA format. Now, the next thing, the resources for Unit 2 revisiting your topic assignment, what I've included are just the assignment details and a link to the discussion board, because this is kind of a 2-part assignment, and you can see it's divided into step 1 and step 2. In step 1, you're going to, in a Word document, you're going to answer 2 or 3 of these questions. You're going to choose 3 of these questions and answer them in 2 or 3 sentences each about your topic. And then you are going to post your responses to 2 of those questions on the discussion board to talk about with your peers. So there's a link to the discussion board right there. So it's a 2-parter. You're going to pick 3 of these questions, answer them in a Word document, and then share at least 2 of your answers on the discussion board. And if you tuned into the video, I'm so glad you did, because I'm going to give you a piece of advice. When you are trying to answer these questions, this is one of those times where this is a situation or you could potentially use something like ChatGPT to help you get an overall view. Do I want you to put this question straight into ChatGPT and then go and just copy and paste the answer? No. But if you're having trouble as you're Googling figuring out like what different cultural approaches are to your topic, that would be a question that you could go and ask ChatGPT and use the information ChatGPT gives you to give an answer back. Because right now we're exploring. So what you're finding out in these questions is not necessarily going to end up in your paper. This is about getting context and an understanding of your topic. Often students choose topics that are existing in the world and have been for a long time. So they're complicated, complex topics that have a huge background in terms of being studied in academia, lots of interest and articles, and people weighing in on the topics. So if you're trying to figure out that context, it can be difficult. And this would be an example of a time where ChatGPT can help you understand those broader patterns so that you can approach the topic with more understanding. So again, like we talked about in our academic integrity quiz, you don't want to just cut and paste what ChatGPT says, but you can use something like ChatGPT to help you get a better understanding in order to answer these questions if you're having trouble doing that over Google. So that's your little tip for having tuned into the video. Thank you so much for watching.